main event of the evening, super middleweight special attraction. Introducing to you first, on my left, he is fighting out of the red corner wearing black trunks with red and gold trim. Fighting out of Denver, Colorado by way of Ciudad Lerdo, Durango, Mexico. He weighed in at 165 pounds. His record, 11 wins, 4 losses, 6 wins coming by way of knockout. Introducing Vladimir 24 Quilates Hernandez. His opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing green trunks with silver trim. Now fighting out of and training in Big Bear, California by way of Mexicali, Baja California, Mexico. He weighed in at 167 3/4 pounds. His hard-hitting record stands at 26 wins, 7 losses, 21 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the battle-ready veteran, the hard-hitting world-ranked contender, and the former WBO super welterweight world champion, introducing Alfredo El Perro Angulo. And a referee in charge now to give instructions, Jack Reese.
Right here, aquí. Okay, hold on, me. Turn towards me. All right, mouthpiece. All right. Está bien, debajo, no bueno, arriba, bueno. Okay, these are perfect, right on the line. I gave you both instructions in the dressing room. I want to remind you, listen and obey my commands at all time, protect yourself at all time. Pelea duro, pelea limpio, fight hard, fight clean. Buena suerte.
Now, Vladimir Hernandez taking this fight on about 3 days' notice, but Joe Goose and Angulo goes from a conventional right-hander in Caleb Truax to a very different fighter, an inside fighter who's a southpaw. What do you think of that?
Well, look, that's never the optimal thing to happen to you, the day before your fight when you've been training for a right-hander who has a completely different style. Hernandez is a guy that likes to mix it up, just like Angulo does. So, and exactly what you're seeing there, he's going right after Angulo. He's a southpaw. Punches are coming from different angles here. And, it might prove a little difficult early for Angulo because nothing works the same. The mechanics work in a different direction.
Hernandez able to get Angulo up into the ropes. Go ahead, Lennox.
Yeah, to be fair, Angulo is, he's being up against a lot of southpaws. He's just a pure fighter to me. He loves to fight. I asked him how he's going to fight the fight. He said, I just do, what I usually do. So, he's just going to see what happens. He's a tough cookie, and he loves to fight inside, and he can take a good shot too, so you can't hurt him easy.
Right. It's funny, Lennox, we asked him, what are you going to do specifically for this fight? As he takes an uppercut, Hernandez able to get some shots landed on the inside, but he left. He said, look, my style is my style. This is who I am. And I would describe it as he gives an honest effort. I think that's why, fellas, he gets so much respect in the boxing world, because in any Angulo fight, you're going to get everything this man has.
That's true.
Oh, he's proven it over and over again, and he's going to have to prove it tonight. Look, you can tell Hernandez, even though he's a late sub, he was on this card just in case there was a fallout, and here we go. So he's ready, willing, and able, and he's throwing some really good shots early in this round, and they aren't soft punches by any means. So it's going to take Angulo a round or two to figure out where all this is coming from before he starts firing back. Because right now he's in a real tight defensive position and he's getting clipped.
Well, ordinarily,
nice combination work there.
Ordinarily, Angulo is a slow starter, and this is slow starting for him. So, you're right, Joe. As the rounds go on, he does pick it up. He works it out quickly.
And Angulo turning southpaw. How about that? So trying a little something different. And now he eats a few more shots. Again, Angulo was a 15-1 underdog against Peter Quillen in September of last year. That was a stunning win, split decision win. But he was also able to keep the pace in the later rounds and trade with Kid Chocolate.
Yeah, and well, Kid Chocolate, I think he got tired because Angulo put so much pressure on him, and he hits hard. You heard Laura even say nobody hit him harder than Angulo, so he's got heavy hands.
Look at these punches landed, by the way. You can see in the left corner at 29-10 now. Hernandez is just winning this round, going away. Oh, those are scoring shots.
He's a tough guy, and he takes a great shot. So even if Angulo lands some punches on him, he'll absorb him. Hernandez is a very tough guy.
Final seconds here of round one. Now, frequently a guy who takes a fight on late notice, he'll have an early barrage, but can he keep that energy going? We'll go to the corners, and tonight's Corner Cam is sponsored by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. Let's go there now.
Thank you, sir.
Como platicamos, y tentando. No quiere tomarlo con vamos a pegarle aquí.
Touch.
Más pégale, ¿ok? No es necesario que se pongan contra las cuerdas.
It's not necessary to go by the ropes.
¿Okay? Aunque yo sé que a lo mejor no están sólidos ni nada, pero están entrando.
I know those punches aren't solid, but they're entering.
Acérquesele, cuerpo, nada acá arriba, aquí.
Body,
¿okay?
shoulders.
Agarre, póngase en una pelea.
Get in the rhythm of the fight. Come on.
Let's see. No quiero tumbarlo, quiero
Yeah, there you go. And look, yeah, they're not. Hernandez is not hurting Angulo, but when you're outlanding 33-12, well, those are scoring shots, and you're winning the round. That's all you have to do. Well, here we go. Look, these are hurting punches, whether they're hurting him and staggering him. No, that's not happening. But those are solid punches that Hernandez is throwing. And again, when they're landing clean like that,
Exchange and keep the energy against Peter Quillen. That's what was so surprising. But I tell you what, Hernandez, for now at least, looks fairly inspired. Now Angulo backs him up, but he eats an uppercut and a hard shot. That was a hard right hook by Hernandez.
Yeah, Angulo looks really slow. It doesn't seem like he's woken up into this into this fight. He's keeping his head still, and he's absorbing the punches. You can't absorb the punches like that because you're going to get hurt. They're going to have some effect on you. All of a sudden, you're going to say, what am I doing on the floor? Because you got hit and you never moved your head.
yeah, I think you're right. He is a slow starter, Brian, and even against Quillen, it took till the fourth round before Angulo really caught him with a good punch and turned the tide in that fight. So let's see if that happens again here. But in the meantime, that southpaw stance is really bothering Angulo.
And the work rate, Joe, you're absolutely right. Look, Hernandez is just putting in work right now. You see the punches landed 51-22. He's outlanding Angulo in this round 18-10. This is a guy who comes off a split decision win over Aaron Coley. And Coley was 16-2 at the time. That was an upset win. And Hernandez, just outworked him. So Hernandez certainly outworking Angulo so far early on.
He is. Sometimes fighters throw like as many punches as Hernandez is throwing right now, and halfway through the fight they start tiring out. They get tired of hitting you, to tell you the truth. I know it sounds weird, but a lot of guys do. They don't hurt you, they don't put you down, and they start running out of steam, and then you turn the tables on them.
In the middle of that exchange, too, there was a right hand that just snapped Hernandez's head around. Now, Angulo didn't quite have, the snap on it to put him down, but a shot like that could do some damage, as now Angulo looks to the jab and is able to find the range. Hernandez again, answering again with scoring shots to the head, uppercuts and hooks.
Yeah, it's true. Hernandez, if he places his punches a lot better, he'll have a lot more success rate instead of just throwing the punches. When you just throw the punches, half of them get blocked. So he would have a lot more success if he places his punches.
Alfredo Angulo, this is what you pay to see, right? He's going to have to dig deep again. He's 38, though. Is there enough in the tank? Can he summon that energy again? And with a brand new opponent, right now, we're not sure. Angulo gets Hernandez to the ropes, and a hard shot punctuates the round.
We're at the movies and we need to silence our phone. Who knows where that button is?
I don't have silent.
Everyone does, right up here.
It happens to all of us. We buy a new home and we turn into our parents. What I do is help new homeowners overcome this.
Was that an adjustable spanner? Good choice, Steve.
Okay, don't forget, you're not assisting him. You hired him. You have nowhere to sit. You have too many. Who else reads books about submarines?
My dad.
Yeah.
Oh, those are...
Progressive can't protect you from becoming your parents, but we can protect your home and auto when you bundle with us.
Look at that.
Vladimir Hernandez was on standby training for a PBC card, but I tell you what, he looked ready to go for this Saturday night, fellas. Look at these shots. Angulo answering back. He's got the heart. Does he have the energy? Body shots by Hernandez, and that's what's so impressive. Lennox, the combinations from Hernandez. He's very fluid in there.
Yeah, see what I'm talking about though? You know, he's hitting his hands a lot of times. All he needs to do is take a step to the side and, you know, change the stance of his punches.
Round number 3, you saw that last right hand by Angulo. And he is going to have to dig deep. You see the punches landed 27-23, so much closer there in round 2 as they start to exchange. But no question, you know, what you said earlier, Lennox, really rings true. There's only so much the head can get whacked around, and you still dig deep and come back and win a fight. Angulo can't take this level of punishment that he took in round 1.
No,
I don't think.
No,
maybe he can, but I don't think it's not advisable.
No, I mean, he's a tough cookie. You know, it's hard to hurt him. He takes a great punch, but he also gives a great punch too. You know, just when you think you hurt him, he's hitting you, and you're getting hurt.
Yeah, like he's doing right now. He landed some good body shots, and if he's smart, that's where he'll go on Hernandez, because Hernandez looks like he's a little soft around the middle, and I think that's a good place for Angulo to go.
Uppercuts from Hernandez. Joe, what do you think of Angulo turning southpaw?
Well, look, you know, if you watch the Lara fight where he dropped Lara twice, he kind of transitioned out of a right hand into a left hand stance and caught Lara with a left hook, making that transition out of the right-handed stance. So it's not unfamiliar to him. So he's obviously worked it before. But I would say that, you know, maybe he's just trying anything right now that might work for him, because being right hand hasn't really done him that well for the first 3 rounds here.
Good snap from Vladimir Hernandez. By the way, the fight that Joe is referencing, Alfredo Angulo fought Erislandy Lara, who was in our main event back in 2013. He knocked Lara down twice, and nobody's doing that, but was stopped in the 10th round. I watched that fight back this week. Joe, Lennox, what struck me was how much faster Angulo was back then. Look, he's not going to be able to be at that speed here tonight.
Yeah, like you said, that was 2013, 7 years ago. So, you know, of course, he's 38 now. He was much younger. But how about that stoppage in the 10th round by that Lara scored that left hand that just puffed Angulo's eye up twice the size. It was a brutal fight.
Punished him. You're right. Got the stoppage in the 10th round. Angulo turned away. Was too badly hurt to continue. Final 40 seconds here in round 3. Angulo being tested mightily. Joe, is there anything to a guy coming in late, you know, last minute and having only energy for part of the fight?
Well, look, I mean, he just got hit with a good right hand, Hernandez did. Look, I mean, I think he was ready. I think they have these guys on standby in case guys fall out because of testing and what have you. So, you know, I think Hernandez is ready. I think the one who's at a disadvantage is Angulo because he's a southpaw.
Last minute replacement again. Caleb Truax was scheduled. Good right hand by Angulo as El Perro gets after it here in the final seconds.
Hey, did you know that every second the universe expands by millions of miles in every direction?
Did you know Cricket has 5G?
Is it expanding too?
Nationwide.
Whoa. Mind blown.
At Inky Hooper reviewed the Popeyes chicken sandwich, and it's pure joy.
Over here.
Get the sandwich for just $3.99. Take it home or get it delivered.
Chicken from Popeyes.
Erislandy Lara, 37 years old, taking on Greg Vendetti in our main event. That is coming up next. Again, he was nice and relaxed in the previous fight. Now he's up, getting some steam going. And let's go back to 2013, as we just mentioned. Erislandy Lara had never been on the canvas in his career, and Alfredo Angulo put him down twice. Both knockdowns came off a hook, but then you see there in the 10th round, Lara, in what was a vicious barrage, ended the fight. It was a broken orbital bone over Angulo's left eye. So Angulo went to war. Erislandy Lara was up for it, but it's now 7 years later, and both warriors march on. Here, Alfredo Angulo, tested by Vladimir Hernandez.
Suéltelo. Let him go. Come on, get him out.
Round 4 here. Hernandez in the green trunks, in the black trunks, and Angulo in the green trunks. And Hernandez, again, going right back to work with the combinations.
Yeah, he's working the combinations nicely, and he's actually throwing a lot more punches than Angulo. So, you know, Angulo needs to do something right now.
Even the punch stats, I'm surprised they're as close as they are. 86 to 67 or now 87 to 67. It doesn't even seem that close. I mean, look at those shots. I mean, so a lot of those are being blocked, but not all of them. Body work by her. Angulo again going left-handed. Able to have some success. Hernandez going over the top. You know, Hernandez also really admires Alfredo Angulo. I mentioned how much respect Angulo has in the boxing world, but Hernandez was one of those guys who really looked up to Angulo, kind of models himself after Angulo.
He has a heck of a way of showing his likeness for Angulo.
It's a business, Joe. It's a business.
Thank you. But, you know, look, I mean, you get in there with your heroes sometimes or your favorite fighters, and you're right. It's a business, and they're gonna try to win. And this is exactly what Hernandez is doing right now. And he's doing really well. But I have a feeling Angulo's going to turn the tables. We're only in the 4th round here of a 10-round fight. I think Angulo's probably in the next round or two is going to start stepping up.
Well, you know what? If he takes too many punches, I don't think he's going to have that chance to step up. Because after a while, you know, it's like that video game. You know, you absorb too much punches, your power level goes down. So.
Well, you're right about that, but this is Angulo's trademark, is taking punches and coming back and beating guys. And you know, here's the thing.
It's a rough road doing it that way.
It is, but Hernandez has got 6 knockouts in 15 fights. He's not exactly a knockout puncher. They may look hard, they may look like they're landing, but I'm sure Angulo's fought a lot heavier hitter guys than this.
Well, my thing is the accumulation of punches. It's just, you know, if you're getting hit way more than you should, you know, it's gonna have that effect. No, you know, it's like tapping on a rock.
I agree.
I think you both, but Joe, allow me, if I may. I think you both can be right. You know, Angulo is certainly that type of warrior that he can come back, but he has not been in these fights at the age of 38. Now he is, and Hernandez, will he be able to, you know, keep this level of energy going? We don't know. So far, he has.
He's starting to get clipped right here, though.
Another hard-hitting round, and that was close. Angulo outlanding Vladimir Hernandez 30 to 28. So now we are in a brawl already.
Millions of people are saying yes to Allegra, including the experts. It's the #1 allergist-recommended brand for non-drowsy relief. Allegra works 2 times faster than Claritin, and while Zyrtec may cause drowsiness, Allegra won't. Say yes to Allegra.
Nachos come with rules, like don't take the fully loaded chips, don't hog the guac, and never take the last one. But with the $5 Grande Nachos box from Taco Bell, you can break all the rules, because this meal's all yours.
Look at that.
COVID-19 is limiting access to sports and play for millions of kids nationwide. That's why Fox Sports is teaming up with Good Sports to restore play and bring sports back to children in need through donations of brand new sports equipment. You can help by keeping kids in the game by donating to Restore Play. Visit goodsports.org. That's goodsports.org to learn more. Back here in Los Angeles, Alfredo Angulo through 4 rounds, averaging over 100 punches a round. That's kind of the bar that you set for a high volume of work rate. Hernandez, his opponent, is averaging 96 per round. So these guys are throwing leather, and I think it might be starting to get a little closer. Let's go to Marcos Villegas. Marcos, how do you have it?
At this point, Brian, I have it 40 to 36 for Hernandez. You know, as a judge, and you see Hernandez just landing punch after punch after punch on the head, it's going to grab your attention, and you're going to score it that way over the body punches of Angulo, even though the Hernandez punches might not be doing the damage that, say, Angulo's punches are, but you're going to have to give him those rounds because of that.
Marcos, thank you. By the way, Joe, did you see that? I said, Marcos, I think it's getting a little closer, and he didn't say, no, Brian, it's not.
Right. No, he's not the argumentative type, okay?
Yeah, he just laid it out there. Do you think, well, let me ask you then, do you think Angulo has taken any rounds so far?
No, I think Marcos is right. I think that although I may give Hernandez the edge in the rounds, but I can see that Angulo is starting to come back now. And remember, there's a second half to this fight. We're approaching that after this round. We'll start the second half. So if Angulo can step it up this round and start landing, he did at the end of the last round, started landing a few good punches. He might come out on top on this. He might even have a chance. He might even have a chance of stopping Hernandez if he starts landing more accurately.
You know, Angulo's body language also kind of gives a misleading interpretation sometimes, because it just looks like he's kind of slow. He's kind of laying in there, and then he does things like that. So you think, oh, you know what? The guy's he's older. He doesn't have it, but there's so much heart in this man. And look at what he's throwing now.
Oh yeah, just landed 3 big shots right there, and he's starting to get the rhythm of what Hernandez is doing. He's starting to back up Hernandez, and it's turning.
Let's get some information from Abel Sanchez. He's in Angulo's corner. Let's go to Heidi Androl.
Thank you very much. You know, Joe, you would almost think you're a trainer, because that was exactly what Abel Sanchez just told me. He said his MO is to be a slow starter. They know that about him. They expected that. They said now he's warmed up, and that's exactly what I told him. You're warmed up. Start to pick up the pace. We know this kid's faster. I just need you to stay busy. Brian?
Wow, warmed up. So again, I'm saying you both can be right, but to Lennox's point, you can get warmed up, but your head can't be getting knocked all around.
True. Well, you know, Hernandez is one of those boxers that he's not going to stay there and slug it out, because he knows that he won't win. He'll slug it out for a minute and then he'll move, and that's what he has to do, because and allow Angulo to get to him.
Punches landed now going Angulo's favor. Again, surprising at the end of the round.
Motorcycle riders love the open road, and Geico loves helping riders get to where they're going. So to help even more, Geico is giving new and current customers a 15% credit on their motorcycle policies with the Geico Give Back. And because we're committed for the long haul, the credit lasts your whole policy term. The Geico Give Back, helping riders focus on the road ahead.
Hey, did you know that every second the universe expands by millions of miles in every direction?
Did you know Cricket has 5G?
Is it expanding too?
Nationwide.
Whoa. Mind blown.
Introducing Budweiser Zero. 0% alcohol, 0 grams of sugar. Full Budweiser flavor. A refreshing alcohol-free brew that tastes like the real thing. Budweiser Zero. Zero compromise.
As expected, it becomes the fight in a phone booth for Alfredo Angulo, landing a fight-high 44 punches in round 5. Hernandez landing 23 as it gets closer and closer. Look at Angulo. It seems, Joe Goosen, Lennox Lewis, that the southpaw style, when Angulo chooses to use it, is starting to have some success.
Yeah, he does have a lot of success with that. You know, one thing about Angulo is that he knows how to break you down. And breaking you down is like he's punching you in the body in the early rounds. So the later rounds, he knows you're going to be tired. Or he knows he's taken some starch out of you.
You know, there's like 4 or 5 scoring shots from Vladimir Hernandez. That's why I mentioned that the punches landed. I was surprised that Angulo was on top, but it is what it is.
Yeah, look, I mean, Hernandez, like we said, coming in, you know, we said he was a tough guy. He's a southpaw. He's rugged, just like Angulo, and he's proven that right now. But Angulo, you know, I'm sure, you know, he's getting hit with these punches, but certain guys just take a great punch, and if you ask him, hey, is this guy hurting you at all? He goes, no, you know, I don't even feel his punches. And Angulo's one of those guys that can take a great punch. It's not a badge of honor necessarily, but he can take a great punch. So let's see if he can, if Hernandez, once Angulo starts ripping his shots, can take the same type of punch.
Good counter right hand there by Angulo, but there's 3 shots from Hernandez, 4 shots, as Hernandez is consistent in throwing combinations to Angulo's head. And to Marcos Villegas' point, those are very visible, and they have a lasting impression on a judge when you see a man's head bouncing back.
Yeah, it looked to me though like Angulo just landed a couple of good straight right hands to the body, and I heard Hernandez grunt all the way back here. So,
but then they countered, and Angulo with a counter. But Vladimir is countering like 2-3 shots at a time.
He is,
but he is getting affected by those body punches because he moved out of the way of one.
Sure did.
Good right hand by Angulo on the inside. Now he moves in a little closer. Hernandez comes back with his own combination. Hit again, thudding shots. Oh, and hard shots by Hernandez.
Hernandez landed a great combination against the ropes right there.
He did, but
Angulo didn't move one bit.
No, he didn't.
Everything.
And now Angulo's starting to hurt him. Angulo's really starting to hurt him, Brian.
There's probably 7 clean headshots from Hernandez. And all these things can be true at the same time. Remarkable. Back and forth they go. Just rock'em sock'em action here in round 6. It's not at the highest speed, grant you. You know, this is this is not De La Hoya Mosley. The first fight, but it is hard-hitting, thudding action between both fighters. Great stuff at the end of this round. A good, hard-working fight. Brian Kenny here with Joe Goosen and Lennox Lewis. Still getting ready for the main event. Erislandy Lara and Greg Vendetti. But this fight is something. So, you guys tell me, are you watching another Angulo fight? Did you just throw a punch, Joe? I thought it was just...
no, not at all.
Lennox, give me, your thoughts on Angulo, because I thought your points were well taken.
Yeah,
punishment any human can take.
Let me tell you, he's the kind of guy that will stand right in front of a bag and punch it all day. That's because you're right there. But if you're moving, he'll have a harder time hitting you. So, this is what Hernandez needs to do. He needs to keep moving, throw his combinations, and then move off. Simple as that.
Joe, how do you read it so far?
I think Hernandez for most of the fight. I think right now the tide is starting to turn, and I think Angulo's starting to really land some very heavy shots. I think Angulo takes a much better punch than Hernandez, and that's going to probably play out in the next couple of rounds.
But I think that the body shots are very apparent by Angulo because they're very effective, and Hernandez is being affected by them, as we can see.
Round 7, Alfredo Angulo taking on a last week replacement. Vladimir Hernandez subbing for Caleb Truax, who fell ill during the week, and again, a very different fighter. So Angulo getting ready for a very conventional right-hander, suddenly has to fight a very inspired inside fighter, who's also a southpaw. Round 7, Angulo has the advantage in punches landed. So a lot of body punches coming in, power punches, heavily in favor of Angulo, 174 to 139. But I judging, which is always subjective, will be fairly difficult. I'll be fascinated to see how it's judged. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, no, what I was going to say is right now, though, we're in the 7th round, and Angulo's got to really make it very apparent that he's winning these rounds big, okay? Because those early rounds that Hernandez won, we're at the halfway mark for 4-4. If he won the first 4, has Angulo won the last 3? I don't know, but they're close. But Angulo's definitely coming on, but he needs to win this round and the next round and the next round by clear margins.
Just jump in there on a second. Angulo, he's getting hit, and to the judges, even though he's got his hands up and blocking most of the shots, to the judges, it looks like he's getting hit. So that's going to be apparent when the judges' scorecards come down.
Alfredo Angulo, by the way, landed a career-high power shots in a single round with 53, breaking his own record set against Harry Joe Yorgi in 2009. 2009, fellas, look at that, 57 punches in round 6. That's a career high, which is saying something for Alfredo Angulo.
To do something equally as good in this round and the next round I think, for him to start turning the tide on the cards, on the judges' cards.
You see what Hernandez is doing?
Yep.
Hernandez is moving well, and he's not allowing him to get to be tied up. He's not boxing inside. He's moving and boxing.
And throwing combinations throughout this fight successfully. And taking shots, though. Angulo comes in again and fighting southpaw once again.
And I'm not too sure Angulo isn't cut. I might see some blood coming from somewhere. He might be cut.
Angulo with a right body shot, throwing a right hook now as he comes out of the southpaw stance, fighting a lot of this fight in southpaw, landing a left hand, a straight left. This is quite a battle between these two men. Vladimir Hernandez getting the call this week, but he was ready to fight. Alfredo Angulo ready to fight every day of his life. We're back after this in LA.
Apartments.com makes getting into a new home easier than ever.
I thought you loved me.
Apartments.com, the most popular place to find a place.
Back here in Los Angeles, Alfredo Angulo against last-minute replacement Vladimir Hernandez, and Hernandez came out throwing. Hernandez, though, throwing a fight-low 77 punches in that 7th round. We wondered if the energy could stay there for Hernandez. Again, just slightly soft in the middle. It's not like he's in terrible shape. No. Obviously, mentally ready to go. Came out and was just, battering Angulo around in round number 1. So an interesting fight so far, and we're in round 8, scheduled for 10. Marcos Villegas is scoring this fight for us. Marcos, what do you think?
It's been a little bit tough, I'm not going to lie, Brian, but at this point, 67-66, Angulo winning the last 3 rounds. I think, what's typical in any Angulo fight is he starts getting the motor around 4 or 5, and then he starts really going. I think at this point, he's starting to wear down Hernandez, and Hernandez's punch output isn't what it was compared to the first rounds. I think Angulo's punches are doing a bit more damage at this point.
Marcos, thank you. I like the way Marcos scores a fight. Again, had experience going back and forth and the way he explains things. And you can see, like, the first 4 going to Hernandez. That makes sense to me. And now Angulo winning, but winning close. Because, as we know, we're talking about judging. You can have a competitive fight, 12-zip or 10-zip. And you see right there, again, looking at the punches landed, Angulo having an edge there in the 6th round, having an edge in the 7th round as well. But it's very close. Good uppercut there by Hernandez again. Back with the jab as Angulo stays southpaw. Good exchange inside. Hernandez moving his head and able to score.
Yeah, Angulo,
left hand by Angulo.
Angulo's starting to land some good shots there, and Hernandez is always willing to answer back. In a way, I'm kind of torn about the southpaw stance of Angulo the whole round. I'd like to see him turn right-handed every so often, because what were the punches that he put Laura down with and other guys? It was that left hook, and throwing it from a left-handed position, it's not the same. It doesn't have the same leverage on it. It's not as close to the guy's head when you throw it, because it's farther back in the southpaw stance, and he's not as accurate with it. I'd like to see him switch right-handed every so often.
I know, Lennox, you haven't been a fan in the past of guys switching up, right? You like to being what you are supposed to be, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you train one style and perfect that style, then you should stay that style. But if you're a switcher and you've been switching from the get-go, then we're used to it. But to do it all of a sudden in the fight to a guy that's really a better left-hander than you is, he's having good success. He's got his hands nice and tight. He's not getting hit, but I don't think that style's for him.
He's back orthodox right now. By the way, he lifted up Vladimir Hernandez's head a moment ago with a beautiful uppercut as both men trade. It's hard to call all these shots because look at all these scoring shots back and forth from both men. Final 30 seconds of round 8. Good work there by Hernandez again, and he eats a shot from Angulo. I know it's in fairly slow motion, but this is quite a brawl.
Yeah. No, this is really, I'm just sitting here white-knuckling it right now because, they're both landing solid shots, and you're right. It's a brutal fight.
Old-fashioned slugfest. Both men going at it with a lot on the line. Let's listen in.
No estaba tan perfecto, pero la última parte sí. Así es exactamente como quiero los últimos dos que nos quedan, ¿ok? Esta cosa está apretada, ¿ok? So,
it's a very close fight.
Usted un paso para atrás, por frente.
Don't take a step back. Side to side, side to side.
Se lo va a mover y puede tirar su coche, ¿ok? Very good. Deep breath. Deep breath. Another one. Okay, man, let's grease. Este es el 9, ¿eh?
9.
We're doing good. Este es el 9, perro, ¿eh? No quiero perder los últimos dos rounds.
I don't want to lose these last two rounds, all right?
Si no estamos activos.
You got to be active.
Here we go. Here's Angulo throwing that from the right-handed stance. He's throwing that right uppercut, a little short right hand. Missed with that right hand. And there he is. He's back in the natural stance. And there's that right hand coming off his regular orthodox stance.
Look at the stoic expression from Alfredo Angulo. Calm as could be, round 9, like in a Western movie.
Yeah, that pose was something for a poster, right, of some sort. But you know, you heard Abel Sanchez. He knows what we've been talking about here. Hernandez has been doing a good job. He's winning his share of rounds, and Abel Sanchez, you cannot lose these next 2 rounds. I would have said you have to win these next 2 rounds.
I agree with you, Joe.
Yeah,
you have to win these next 2 rounds. He needs to really step it up a little bit more. You know, he's waiting too much. He's waiting for that perfect shot. He's throwing good body shots, but he needs to get Hernandez against the ropes and throw those right and left hooks like he does well.
Brutal power shot exchanges here from both men. Angulo able to come in and jab out of the southpaw stance, but they are just trading at close range.
Man, Hernandez came in shape, didn't he, for a guy that took the place of Caleb Plant. It's amazing.
Truex, Caleb Truex.
I'm sorry, Caleb Truex. Sorry.
Maybe Plant is in the future.
Somebody planted that in my mind.
It's easy to get your Caleb.
Right.
I tell you, I think Hernandez has done an admirable job, and if I didn't have CompuBox, I would think he's outlanding Angulo by a wider margin. You guys are closer to the action. Are you thinking that or no?
I wouldn't disagree at all.
Yeah, he looks the fresher of the two, and he looks more of a boxer who's got a little bit more pep in his step than Angulo. But Angolo's still there, throwing some good punches, and Hernandez is there and he's getting hit. And you wouldn't think he would get hit by these shots because they look pretty slow by Angulo, but they're connecting.
All good points, Lennox. Excellent points. And a good combination there by Hernandez. You're right. And just as you're saying that, Angulo comes back and he throws like kind of a straight left hand as he's in the southpaw stance again, lands with a right hook. So there are shots landing. I'm not disputing that. It just seems like, what's more conventional, it's a good shot landed by Angulo again. The conventional combinations are being answered by Hernandez. And you see the power punches landed, the most ever by an opponent, Alfredo Angulo. So Hernandez is absolutely having success with his power shots. There's no question.
And what's amazing is with the punches that they've been catching each other with, nobody's really gotten wobbled big time or gone down. They've both got great solid chins.
The record, by the way, Hernandez broke Canelo's record. Canelo put a hurting on Angulo way back when. That was 2014. It was a good fight, actually, but Canelo, obviously younger, fresher, and stopped him in the 10th. But, Canelo Alvarez is considered #1 in the world. Now the middleweight champion. Hernandez again going to work. He's had a good engine all night long. Great work by both men.
Very good, very good.
Tenemos un round.
We have one round. We have one round.
Tenemos un round, Vladimir. Compa, Vladimir, dame otra agua, dame otra agua.
Give me another water.
Sí, ya estuvo. Vuélvelo a agarrar. Pero no
keep getting him like that. But don't take care. Put your hands up. Put your hands up. Get some air.
Es el último round.
It's the last round, Vladimir.
No te abras.
Don't open up.
Sí, si tú sientes tienes que agarrarlo y abre.
If you feel him coming over, grab him.
Muy bien.
Very, very good.
Aprieta, tienes que apretar, pero bien cerrado, no pegues y deja la mano.
Come close, come close. Don't hit with your hands up.
All right, there's Angulo getting clipped with that right uppercut from Hernandez, and of course he's going to try to answer back. He misses.
Wow. You know, Joe, earlier I said it's like a slow motion De La Hoya Mosley. I think it's more like a slow motion Izzy Vasquez, Rafael Marquez. Remember those?
Where'd you pull that one out of your head?
That's in my head. We're talking about the top of the food chain in the ring. That's it. Now, these guys are slower, but they are getting after it. Round 10, final round. And again, Marcos Villegas has it very close, doing our unofficial scoring. It seems to be very close. Hernandez has definitely gotten out sharper and faster, but Angulo has landed more punches, according to CompuBox, and has landed good thudding body shots as well. Fascinating fight.
And you heard Hernandez's corner saying, you know, if you get on the inside hole, don't, slug with him, because they know that Angulo's got to go for broke here. They feel that Angulo is behind their fighter and that he's going to be desperate, and don't take any chances because you're that far ahead.
Uppercuts there, and another one by Hernandez, lifting up the head of Angulo.
Hernandez is throwing some good shots. The uppercut, really, that's just the cleanup shot. He's throwing a right, left, and then the cleanup uppercut, and Angolo's getting caught by it.
Can't miss with it.
Landing again and again, and I asked the question, hey, Hernandez on 3 days' notice, sure, he looks good in the first couple of rounds. Can he keep it up? He's answered that, Joe. I mean, he has kept up the energy all fight. Let's go to Marcos Villegas. Marcos, how do you have it?
It's really, really close at this point. A one-point fight, 85-86 for Hernandez. I felt, he had a very good round in the last round. So far in this round, good ebb and flow, but it might be going in the favor of Hernandez because of these uppercuts that are being landed at this point.
Marcos, good job, and that seems about right to me. However, you swing one round, and now you have Angulo on top. So it is that close. And look at this from Hernandez, working so hard to try to get what would be a career-defining win.
And if Hernandez were to win, what does it mean to Angulo's career from here on if you get beat by...
Angulo is just a great warrior. I mean, this guy can take shots and give them back.
I know, but...
And to answer that question, Joe, I'll jump. He's 38. How often do you want to see him in so many wars as he nears 40? No. I don't think you do.
I would tell you the truth if I were in his corner, and if it doesn't go his way, I don't know. I don't know how the judges are scoring this. It's a close fight, but I got to tell you, I would probably recommend... hanging him up if he did with this fight.
And look, and we thought that he was cannon fodder against Kid Chocolate, but he ends up getting a decision over Peter Quillen, and now he gets this fight. Angulo in the final 30 seconds now, and is starting to throw down. He knows it's on the line.
Yeah, he threw some great right hands in that round, just in the exchange over there on the ropes with Hernandez.
A good right hook as well, Lennox. Angulo continues to press with whatever he has left, but Hernandez has kept up the work rate, moving his head. Back and forth they go. Final seconds of the fight. Trading big shots off Angulo's jaw. Angulo comes back to the body, and there's the bell. That's a war.
Wow.
Two warriors.
They went after it. Vladimir Hernandez came in on short notice, knew it was the opportunity of a career, and certainly made the most of it. Angulo answered back again and again, but he was up against a very spirited and younger man who really admired him as he moved through the boxing world. Outstanding fight for both men.
It's a familiar story. Allergies ruining your sleep, and next day too. Taking Zysol at night relieves allergies while you sleep, so you wake refreshed. Plus, it works faster than Claritin, and on first dose provides the same relief as Zyrtec at nearly half the size. Be wise all. Take Zysol at night.
Max. No. Max! Max! Max!
Dogs don't know what's good for them. Luckily, you do. Greenie's Dental Treats.
We love our new home. There's so much space.
We have a guest room now.
But we have ants.
You're slouching again, Ted.
Expired. Expired. Expired.
Thanks, Aunt Bonnie.
It's a lot of house. I hope you can keep it clean.
At least Geico makes bundling our home and car insurance easy.
Which helps us save a lot of money.
Oh, Teddy, did you get my friend request?
I'll have to check.
Aunt Joni's here.
For bundling made easy, go to geico.com.
The stunning partnership between Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman is explained.
It's an all-new Friday Night SmackDown, live at 8 Eastern on Fox.
Tonight at 10, the tributes to actor Chadwick Boseman. The Black Panther star passed away after a private battle with colon cancer. How he's being remembered as a superhero both on screen and in life. So many asking how it could happen to someone so young, breaking down the most common questions about the
New York Presbyterian, Columbia, and Weill Cornell Medicine are here for you now, online and in person. Our leading trusted doctors are why Angela is getting the expert cancer treatment she needs, safely. Why Hope is getting her scheduled sonogram. And Trevor can get his annual checkup. Don't delay your health needs. Our expert teams who make us the #4 hospital in the nation are here for you now. Learn more at nyp.org. New York Presbyterian, Columbia, and Weill Cornell Medicine are here for you now, online and in person. Our leading trusted doctors are why Angela is getting the expert cancer treatment she needs, safely. Why Hope is getting her scheduled sonogram. And Trevor can get his annual checkup. Don't delay your health needs. Our expert teams who make us the #4 hospital in the nation are here for you now. Learn more at nyp.org.
New York weather can change in a New York minute. So know your weather with the Fox 5 NY weather app. Get hourly and daily forecasts, plus interactive radar map, all on one screen. And have New York's best weather team with you at all times. The Fox 5 NY weather app. Download it for free today. Whether you're uptown, downtown, or out of town, or you need the hourly, the daily, or the radar, the Fox 5 weather team gets you the info you need. Download the free Fox 5 NY weather app and know stuff now.
Our main event still to come, Erislandy Lara versus Greg Vendetti. Lara wants the winner of Charlo Rosario or Canelo. We'll see if he can stay at the highest level at the age of 37. We know Alfredo Angulo still has a lot of heart at the age of 38, but wow, last-minute replacement Vladimir Hernandez came in as a sub for Caleb Truax in the final week, and the man out of Durango, Mexico, brought it from the very start. Angulo, again, is a tough man. Been through the wars. CompuBox actually giving the advantage to Alfredo Angulo. I've mentioned if I didn't have those numbers in front of me, I would think that Hernandez landed more shots, but that's not the case. Hernandez just very successful with his combinations. Here's the punches landed. Both men throwing over 1,000 punches. Angulo over 1,100. That is quite a work rate. And 351 to 306. Angulo over Hernandez for power punches. 301 to 239, and that's a career high thrown for Alfredo Angulo at his age, and the age again 38. You know he has heart. Vladimir Hernandez, though, came in with a lot of heart himself on short notice. Should be very close. Let's go to Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of action, the judges are in agreement. All three judges scored about the same, 98 to 92. All three in favor of the winner, Vladimir 24 Quilates Hernandez.
Angulo looks very disappointed, and I guess, you know, he put his heart and soul into that fight. But Hernandez, I believe, fellas, earned that. His work rate was outstanding. Jumped right in, 98-92, came in and opened it up from the very start. Joe, Lennox, your thoughts?
Look, I can't disagree with the score. It could have been 98-92. It could have been less than that and more in favor of Angulo. But the fact of the matter is, I thought Hernandez won it. Period.
Yeah, these guys fought well, and Hernandez boxed well because he boxed inside and then he boxed outside. So he did the right thing to win the fight because that's the strategy, and he came into the fight with the right strategy.
Hernandez was crisp from the outset, and you have to wonder about the future of Alfredo Angulo. 38 years old, and yeah, he's got heart. Yeah, he can take a beating.